Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Flip Thought Show. It's your host with the most, King Truth, Bird, Benny Ball, the one the word, the one the flow, and we coming at you live. Hold on, real quick, y'all. I don't know why this is acting weird right now. All right, I think we good now, yeah. All right, we good. We're making sure we live on everywhere, Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. All right, so boom, like I said, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Flip Thought Show. It's your host with the most, King Truth, Bird, Benny Ball, the one the word, the one the flow, and we coming at you live, man, at 11:29, and we got some content for you one time. It's not gonna be too long, man. It's gonna just be a breakdown of Kirk and Rasheeda Frost from the Love HipHop series. Basically, their toxic relationship broken down, and then the new single that Rasheeda just dropped about her not leaving Kirk. And so, yeah, man, it's not gonna be too long. Probably maybe 20 minutes, 30 at the most. Let's get into it.
Kirk, Frost, and Rasheeda have showcased their relationship since 2012, when Love HipHop Atlanta first premiered. Through the years, viewers have described their marriage as a hot, stinking mess, and we can't say we disagree. In fact, there are so many accusations, theories, and rumors about their relationships that have led many to wonder if Kirk and Rasheeda are the real deal or if they're both full of boo-boo. Before we get into today's video, it's time to feed 'em snacks and make 'em wanna marry me.
Yeah, that song right there wasn't it, Rasheeda. Yeah.
Kirk and Rasheeda are the real deal or if they're both full of boo-boo. Before we get into today's video, it's time to feed 'em snacks and make 'em wanna marry me. And our online concession stand at rrgsnacks.com has some of the best goodies in town, including Western barbecue bacon jerky, freeze-dried goodies, and butter toffee peanuts. Child, I got so full off of them butter toffee peanuts last night, I just had to lay down. I just had to lay down somewhere.
How are you not tired of spending your hard-earned money on a million different productivity apps? Well, here's how you can save and wave goodbye to Asana, Trello.
I couldn't stop eating them. To give you better insight into their relationship, we got to take you back to the 90s when Harlem native Kirk Linnell Frost founded D-Lo record label. Okay, wait a minute. You said D-Lo record label. Baby, everybody know what D-Lo mean. What he said?
Oh shit, that's a good one. Everybody know what D-Lo mean. All right.
Never mind. At some point, he fathered 4 children with multiple women, and he also had an encounter with Da Brat. On an episode of Dish Nation, Da Brat said Kirk wrote his number down on the backs of 20 $100 bills and asked her to call him.
So how fast did you call him?
The next day.
I know you did.
I did. No, I didn't want to seem desperate, but I did call the next day.
She entertained him for a minute, and apparently he was dropping bags on her.
Oh.
Well, I got a Lincoln Navigator. I got quite a few things
What?
though, from
From
the
him?
situation. Mhm.
From him?
Mhm.
Oh. All on the first day?
Not the first day, maybe throughout the course of a little while.
Things between them fizzled out. Meanwhile, Rasheeda Wadad Buckner was born in Decatur, Illinois. For most of her early years, she trained to be a gymnast and even traveled to Texas to practice with legendary gymnastics coach.
Mhm.
Oh.
You won't believe what just shook the world of hip-hop and love. Rumors of a DNA bombshell have surfaced.
The Capers released claims that Kirk actually adopted Rasheeda when she was a teenager.
Whoa. Kirk, what's going on, bro? What's going on? What's going on?
Now, the specifics surrounding Rasheeda's first
Yeah, nah, Kirk. Nah. You talking about? Y'all can put in work. What did she say? Y'all can talk your shit. Something, man. Put in work. But I ain't needing Kirk.
deal and her initial interactions with Kirk are a bit murky. However, we uncovered this 2013 blog post from Hollywood Street King that spills some piping hot tea. Say it with me, besties. Here we go. Here we go. The blogger states that Rasheeda was 15 and Kirk was 23 when they first started dating. An insider told the blog that Rasheeda's mom, Charlene, gave her blessing because she was too preoccupied with her alleged substance addiction. Over here at RRG, we're calling BS on this allegation, and we're unable to corroborate the allegations. I see what you did, bestie. Trying to cover your ass, ain't you? Ain't you? Very mindful, very demure. The Capers released their first album in 1998, but they broke up in 1999 after all three group members decided to pursue solo careers. Rasheeda continued releasing solo albums on Kirk's label, and he also became her manager. Yeah, no wonder her career ain't popping. Now, please keep in mind that not much is known about Kirk and Rasheeda's relationship prior to them signing up to appear on Love HipHop, because in all honesty, neither of them has ever been famous enough to be followed by paparazzi or to have their tea spilled in
Look at that. Crazy, man. Crazy.
old school tabloid magazines. Kirk and Rasheeda are incredibly tight-lipped about where they first met and when they started dating.
I think we were in business before we was even in a
Yeah,
relationship.
we were. Time came around and somebody had said something about Rasheeda and something to me, and then we wound up liking each other
Yeah.
years later.
And there you have
Still
it.
here.
In addition to that, they are oddly obsessed with concealing their ages. Many believe that one reason they refuse to acknowledge their ages is because they're trying to hide the truth about their age difference. Online sources state that Rasheeda was born on May 25th, 1980.
Then she put Tiger. She's out of line for that. Oh, shit.
1982? Yeah, that lie to somebody else, honey. Naturally, Rasheeda hasn't done much to confirm or correct this information. However, when she and Kirk confirmed that they tied the knot in December 1999, fans did the math, and based on online sources claiming Rasheeda was born in 1982, it meant that she was 17 when she became a bride. Online blogs also claimed that Kirk was 31 at the time of their wedding. From there, folks started calling Kirk Kelly. Yeah, not Kirk Kelly.
Just feel like you can't get a song started. Output's co-producer is very dope. Let me show you guys how this thing works. I made a really quick beat.
They so damn messy. That's what they get for lying. Hell, when you tell one lie, you gotta cover it up with another lie. Tell the truth and shame the devil, honey. Rasheeda and Kirk were forced to confront all of the rumors head on.
Okay, for all the people who's minding my business.
These mathematicians and rocket
Okay,
scientists out
first
here.
of all, I ain't gonna adopt Rasheeda. I'm not interested in
that's
adopting
crazy.
Rasheeda. I would definitely not be in there marrying nobody at motherfucking 17 and I'm 31.
Damn sure wasn't thinking about getting married at 17.
For the record, I'm not gonna tell nobody's age, but I'm not even gonna say what I need to say, but trust me, I'm not interested in marrying a minor.
You probably noticed that although they denied the rumors, they still refused to tell their ages. But guess what, besties? We were able to get to the bottom of this mystery. We know that Rasheeda was born on May 25th, and that is the same day that her celebrity friends always give her a birthday shout out. To confirm her birth year, we had to dig a bit deeper. Let's take a look at Exhibit A. This is a newspaper clipping from August 1998 about Rasheeda's old rap group, The Capers. The article states that at the time, Rasheeda and her group mates were all 22. So this would mean that she was born in 1976, not in 1982. Now, if that's not enough evidence, let's look at Exhibit B, a March 2nd, 1988 newspaper clipping, where Rasheeda was highlighted for being a part of her school's spelling bee. The article describes her as an 11-year-old 6th grader. Therefore, if Rasheeda was 11 on March 2nd, 1988, this also confirms that she was indeed born in 1976. Okay, bestie, I see. Run them dates. Get them facts.
Shoot, can't mess with us.
Based on those two pieces of evidence, we're certain that Rasheeda's date of birth is May 25th, 1976, and she was 23 when she married Kirk in December 1999. As for Kirk, he was born on January 30th. We found a January 9th, 2017 court filing posted on Bossip website, which revealed that he was 47 at the time. This means his birth year is most likely 1969, and he was 30 when he and Rasheeda got married. So anyway, back to those rumors about Rasheeda being underage when they started dating. Like we mentioned, Kirk and Rasheeda denied the allegations that he adopted her, and that she was only 17 when they tied the knot. However, online users dug up this video of Rasheeda during a night out with some friends, including media personality Ebony Electra. In the video, Ebony can be heard saying that she has known Rasheeda since she was 17. Now, let's listen closely to what Ebony had to say after that.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
The only nigga back then that had the flyest ass cars, and that's the only reason your ass went up to her high school and got her pretty ass, okay? And now we here how many years later? How about that? And that's the only reason your ass went up to her high school. Your ass went up to her high school.
Yeah. Hey, that's nasty as hell.
So yeah, there's the tea straight from the horse's mouth. Rasheeda's own friend confirmed that she was in high school when Kirk pursued her, and Rasheeda confirmed that she wanted to get with the ninja with the fly-ass car. Now, if that isn't crazy enough, during an episode of Love HipHop Atlanta, K. Michelle got into it with Rasheeda after K. Michelle opened up about her ex-boyfriend, Mickey Memphis Wright, allegedly putting his hands on her. Rasheeda didn't want to believe the allegations because Memphis was married to her friend, Toya Johnson Rushing, at the time. One of K. Michelle's closest friends decided to insert themselves into the situation after K. Michelle was accused of lying and faking her story of domestic violence. The friend took to social media and stated that Rasheeda was nothing but a homewrecker and that Kirk was married when he and Rasheeda first started dating.
Yeah.
And then during an October 2012 interview with Madame Noir website, K. Michelle was asked about Rasheeda's claims that K. Michelle was bitter and jealous that she couldn't be married to a man like Kirk. K. Michelle responded, "No offense to Kirk Frost, but he has 3 earring holes in his ear. That's not the kind of husband that I want anyway."
3 holes in the ear for a dude is kind of wild.
Being on reality TV opened the couple up to even more crazy rumors. In 2012, an online user claimed Kirk slept with his own stepdaughter and got her pregnant. Rasheeda and Kirk denied those allegations as well. While all that was happening, social media users dug up a 2006 song by Gucci Mane called "I Shook Them Haters Off." In the song, Gucci goes the hell off on Kirk, Rasheeda, and a guy named Marlon Big Cat Rowe, who's the co-owner of Big Cat Records, which Gucci was signed to at the start of his career. Unfortunately, we can't play the song for you due to copyright laws. But Auntie Regina is warming up her vocal cords to give you a little taste of what Gucci says on the track.
Me. Now you the type of old as hell still trying to rap. And I'm the type of young as hell and I run the trap. Now you the type of freak say lick your Georgia peach. You married to a lame and that lame don't want no beef. Now he the type of nigga that an old lame ass won't. Ain't never drunk no bill. Ain't never rolled no blunt. Now she the type of girl ain't got no ass on her back. No Kirk ain't got no money. I heard she f***ing cat. Yeah.
Gucci doesn't stop there, though. He goes on to accuse Kirk of getting his back blown out by a guy named Jace.
What in the deal?
Whoa. Yo. Hey, yo. Whoa. All right.
What is going on here?
For anyone who's interested in listening to the entire song, we'll drop a link to the track in our description box.
Watch to the end for a discount code to Restream's Upload and Stream. Being a content creator can feel like you've always got to be on, always live. It's overwhelming. So stream smarter. Upload your video to Restream, and we'll stream it live whenever and wherever you want. Maximize your
As Rasheeda and Kirk continued to voluntarily showcase their relationship on episodes of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, viewers began to notice that their relationship was toxic as hell. From the numerous infidelities to Kirk getting an exotic dancer named Jasmine Washington pregnant. In court documents, Jasmine claimed Kirk gave her a monthly allowance and a car in exchange for allowing Kirk to blow her back out. That sounds fun as hell. Their affair resulted in the 2016 birth of their son, Cannon. Jasmine alleged that after giving birth, Kirk stopped giving her money and took the car back when she dumped him.
Kirk is still trying to. I've told him he's not giving me enough. He's told me, okay, I can give you more. Yeah. As long as we're.
There have been rumors that Kirk isn't Cannon's father and that Jasmine is a paid actress. However, those rumors were shot down after Jasmine took Kirk to court and requested $10,000 per month in child support. Sources report that they settled out of court.
So the agreement was that you get Cannon the third weekend of every month. Do you do that?
No, and we didn't really agree to that because the last time.
Signed on paper.
Some people refuse to believe that someone as beautiful as Rasheeda would allow a man like Kirk to play in her face by having a child outside of their marriage. Even Nicki Minaj has shown her disgust after watching the episode of Kirk kissing another woman named Alexis Mary Jane Miller in a hot tub during the time his wife Rasheeda was pregnant with their second child, which made Kirk a father of 7. Nicki hopped on Twitter to blast Kirk for being so ugly towards Rasheeda and for putting their issues on display just for a reality TV check. Nicki also told Kirk that if he's trying to make people believe he isn't gay, he needs to go about it in a different way.
Yeah. Y'all better leave Kirk and his 3 earrings alone.
Kirk went on to accuse Rasheeda of cheating on him. He also questioned whether their unborn child was his and suggested Rasheeda terminate the pregnancy. Again, most people couldn't believe Rasheeda would tolerate the disrespect, but their castmate Lil Scrappy said it best.
This what I know. What? This woman right here, no matter what this man do, she gonna stay with him.
Eject yourself from the situation, you dumb bird.
Rasheeda's mom, Charlene, told VH1 that she always tried to treat Kirk like a son, but once he started hurting her daughter, she felt the need to step in. Charlene added, "It got to the point where I needed to step in and kind of take control to let him understand that you can't just do anything to people and not suffer the consequences." Faithful viewers of the show will never forget the scene where Charlene gave Kirk a piece of her mind by demolishing his bike.
Probably need to move that damn bike out the way. Do you need to move it? Yes, Miss Shirley. I want to put that thing in reverse. How you like that? Get out of my way, Rasheeda.
When asked which castmate she...
I'm dead. She said, he can move that bike. He ran that motherfucker. But nah, this is crazy, man. Kirk supposedly adopted Rasheeda at 17. Her being born in 1976, him being born in 1969. It's nuts, bro. Like, it's nuts.
Rather see her daughter with, Charlene answered, "The only person that I really, really like that I just think is too cute is Young Jock."
Oh, hell nah. Not the Sperminator. Shorty is trippy. You trippy, girl.
As the seasons progressed, all signs continued to point toward their ratchet marriage being nothing more than a scripted storyline. Even Wendy Williams claimed Kirk and Rasheeda were trying to dethrone Jocelyn and Stevie J as the show's most popular couple. Wendy added, "And you and your husband, or whatever you want to call that animal, you all did this as a plot to get popular on this show. It's a shame what people will do to stay on this reality TV. This is worse than the Kardashians." During a chat with VH1, Rasheeda addressed Wendy's allegations that she was trying to finesse VH1 for a check by saying, "Wendy can say what she want to say, but she's sitting there with her pork chop and her noodles watching Love and Hip Hop Atlanta on Monday nights at 8 o'clock. So I guess that's all that really matters." And then Rasheeda shocked fans and her castmates when she dropped a bombshell during a 2019 episode.
I ain't always been perfect in my marriage. We've had dishonesty from both sides of us in this marriage. We've had infidelities from both sides of us in this marriage.
What? Oh my God.
Rasheeda.
An online user responded, "If this is true, she didn't cheat enough. She is still owed about 10 more cheats and a baby." In the end, Rasheeda told Essence magazine that it's important to own up to the messiness of their relationship. She said, "If you're going to step into the realm of reality television where everybody's watching, just walk your walk." In December 2024, Kirk and Rasheeda will celebrate 25 years of marriage. No matter how strange we think their relationship is, we wish them many more years of love and ratchetness. If you enjoyed this video, let us know down below. And thanks for watching RRG.
Mash this. Hey. Now hear that.
All right, all right. Now we're gonna get a little bit deeper, more in depth.
Dinner, and she was like, "I've been messing with him 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 20.
Tension was at an all-time high, suffocating like thick smoke in a room with no windows. The drama between Kendra, Rasheeda, and Kirk Frost had gone from whispers in back alleys to front-page chaos across every entertainment blog, fan forum, and...
You had me in your life, and you kept up over and over. You violated my privacy. You violated my space. You did it behind my back. I almost died. You understand? So I don't have time for this negative energy.
Imagine building your empire on loyalty, only to be blindsided by the very people you trusted the most. That's exactly what happened with Mona Scott, and now she's cleaning the house.
You know, I think that one went too far. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, because in all, you know, and I think I'd like to think that right now I see that she's super successful in everything she's doing. I've always said I wish her all the best. I'd like to think that if she is going to be 100% honest, she knows that I never had anything but the best intentions for her, right? And the way that things transpired in that moment that it did, we were at an especially close place.
Kirk and Rasheeda have been part of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta since the beginning. Over time, they built a reputation as one of the franchise's most iconic couples, riding through cheating scandals, outside children, and business hustle. They weren't just cast members, they were faces of the brand. Fans either loved them or loved to hate them. But either way, they brought numbers. But behind the glam, the relationship between them and the show started shifting. Insiders say Rasheeda, once a fan favorite for her resilience and boss attitude, became more difficult to work with. She allegedly started making more demands off camera, wanting more control over how she was portrayed, pushing back on script outlines, and even refusing to film certain scenes if they didn't match the image she was trying to protect. Producers were frustrated. Rasheeda, who used to roll with the drama, began rejecting entire storylines, calling them fake and damaging to her brand. Multiple sources say she walked out of more than one meeting, claiming she didn't need this show anymore. Meanwhile, Kirk wasn't helping. He was allegedly missing call times, arriving late to filming days, and causing tension with newer cast members. Some crew members claim he acted like he was above the show, treating production like they owed him. There were also whispers of shady business practices, everything from unpaid appearance fees to sneaky brand deals that bypass show contracts. Together, what used to be a power couple became a management headache. Still, Mona kept them around for the drama, for the legacy, and for the fans. But that patience didn't last forever. But Mona is no stranger to conflict. So what made this situation different? The answer lies in a massive blow-up that even Mona couldn't control. It all came to a head during a scheduled shoot earlier this season. What was supposed to be a basic filming day turned chaotic in minutes. Sources close to production say the scene was set for a discussion about Kirk's latest business project, but tensions were already running high. Rasheeda allegedly showed up irritated and immediately clashed.
For $1 down, you could get a gaming laptop, PC, gaming console.
With the producer over the setup. She accused the team of trying to bait her into looking bad on camera and refused to film what she called a...
Oh, and this is pretty recent too, because this is 3 months ago.
fake storyline. A heated back and forth followed, and soon it escalated into a full-on shouting match. Crew members said Rasheeda screamed at producers, accusing them of trying to ruin her brand, and even threatened to walk out mid-scene. That's when security was reportedly called. According to several witnesses, it wasn't just yelling. It was hostile enough that the crew had to step in to calm things down. Then Kirk jumped in, siding with Rasheeda and telling producers to shut down the cameras. But it didn't stop there. He allegedly contacted network reps directly and demanded they pull the scene completely. That delay alone reportedly cost the production thousands of dollars. What was supposed to be a controlled filming day ended with no footage, a rattled crew, and a lot of unanswered calls. That's when Mona realized this wasn't just reality TV drama, it was full-blown sabotage, and it forced her to take the gloves off.
You've got to be self-motivated. You cannot be looking for outside validation, right? A lot of times people need the outside stimulus in order to get up and to get going. You've got to be able to find that within, because if not, you dead in the water, right? Because people are going to come and go in your life. People are going to support you at some times and not at others. And so you've got to be consistent with being able to be self-motivated.
Following the chaos on set, Mona didn't waste time. Within 24 hours, she held a closed-door meeting with her showrunners and legal team. According to sources inside that meeting, this wasn't just about an isolated blow-up. It was about a pattern, repeated disrespect, ongoing violations of contract terms, and the loss of production time and money. Internal memos were circulated between VH1 execs and production leads, reportedly labeling Kirk and Rasheeda as non-cooperative, disruptive, and a liability. The word insubordination was used more than once, and Mona, who's always been known for keeping her cool and thinking long-term, had finally hit her limit. She gave the green light to terminate their contracts immediately. No more warnings, no more second chances. The couple didn't even get a formal heads up. Instead, they received a single call from a senior producer letting them know they were officially cut. No reunion, no final episode, no storyline wrap-up, just done. But Mona didn't stop there. And she didn't just cut them off, she exposed them too. And the tea she spilled had everyone talking. After the firing, Mona didn't release a formal statement, but she made her position crystal clear. In a sharp, carefully worded Instagram post, she wrote, "One thing about me, I'll feed you, but I won't tolerate being bitten." It didn't name anyone, but everyone in the industry knew exactly who it was aimed at: Kirk and Rasheeda. What fans didn't see on camera was how deep the betrayal actually went. According to multiple insiders, Mona discovered that Kirk and Rasheeda had been quietly feeding negative narratives to bloggers and gossip pages. They were reportedly blaming the show's editing team for twisting stories, saying the producers were manipulating footage to create drama that never existed. That alone was a red flag. But it gets worse. Behind the scenes, the couple was allegedly in talks with another network to launch a new reality series, one that would follow their lives, businesses, and family drama without Mona or VH1 involved. This wasn't just ambition, it was a direct threat. Mona built Love and HipHop into what it is today, and these two were not only biting the hand that fed them, they were trying to build a rival show using the fame they gained under her brand. To Mona, that crossed every line. She saw it as betrayal, plain and simple. But what really set fans on fire, it was the fact that Mona hinted these two had been double agents for years.
I ain't doing I ain't trying to do you already know I'm not. Like when, where, how, when.
So where the rest of the text messages at so I can find out this information about what y'all agreed to? Why are your text messages deleted?
What you mean? I don't even know what the was being said. I was frustrated. I might have thought about and I don't know if I sent the same day, the next day, I sent the money and did what I needed to do. That's it. I ain't do nothing else.
The fallout didn't just hit Kirk and Rasheeda, it rippled across the entire Love and HipHop franchise. Cast members were instantly divided. Some of the OGs, like Young Jock and Spice, reportedly backed Mona, saying she'd been more than patient and had every right to protect her brand. They felt like Kirk and Rasheeda had been dragging their feet for seasons and finally pushed too far. But others weren't so quick to take sides. A few newer cast members privately said Mona's firing decision felt too harsh and that Rasheeda was just trying to control her image, like many others do. Some felt like the drama was being used to send a warning shot to the rest of the cast. toe the line, or you're next. Meanwhile, social media blew up with reactions. A person commented saying, Mona should stop letting them run the show. Rasheeda has been checked out since season 9. Kirk has been riding coattails. Another one added, I used to root for them, but recently it felt like they thought they were too good for the show that made them famous. A third person wrote, Mona don't play. She was letting stuff slide and now people are mad because she finally cleaned the house. And then the real bomb dropped. Rumors that Kirk and Rasheeda weren't the only ones in trouble. Sources say Mona is now keeping tabs on other cast members who've been difficult behind the scenes. One insider even said, Mona's cleaning house. Loyalty matters now more than ever. And just when the dust started to settle, Kirk and Rasheeda clapped back with some serious allegations. The couple didn't stay quiet for long. Rasheeda was the first to respond. She posted a story that read, watch who you call boss. The tables always turn. No names, no tags, but everyone knew it was aimed at Mona. Kirk took it a step further. He jumped on Instagram Live and gave fans a full-on rant. He claimed that Mona and the producers had been using him and Rasheeda for ratings for years.
Where is that at? Where?
Years, constantly pushing cheating storylines even when they made it clear they didn't want to go there anymore. According to Kirk, the breaking point came when producers allegedly tried to rehash old drama about past affairs, even going as far as asking if he'd be okay with filming scenes hinting at infidelity. Kirk said they refused, and that's when the tension really started. He also claimed that Mona felt threatened by the couple's plans to expand their brand. He didn't confirm the rumor about a competing show, but said they were building their own empire and didn't need to be boxed into the same narrative anymore. But Mona wasn't about to let them rewrite the narrative.
The promise was fulfilled. The promise of what Love and Hip Hop should have provided for her was fulfilled. It provided an opportunity for her to now go and do everything she's doing now.
After all the back and forth, Mona finally spoke up with a message about the future of Love and Hip Hop. In a recent interview clip and follow-up post, she confirmed what fans had been thinking. Yes, the show is getting a full revamp. She said it's time to clear the dead weight and bring in new talent that's hungry, respectful, and real. She didn't mention Kirk or Rasheeda by name, but the shade was loud and clear. According to Mona, the franchise lost some of its authenticity over the years, and she's on a mission to get it back. She teased that the upcoming season will feature all new faces, new cities, and a rawer look at hip-hop culture that focuses more on real-life hustle than manufactured drama. Mona also hinted at a potential tell-all special, an episode that would pull back the curtain on the real reasons behind the firings. Fans are already buzzing about it online, with some begging for her to drop receipts and call out the cast by name. She hasn't confirmed a release date yet, but the way she's setting the stage, something big is definitely coming. So what does this mean for the future of Love and Hip Hop? And could Kirk and Rasheeda be planning a comeback on another platform? Let's break it down. This wasn't just about one incident, it was years of small tensions building up, missed shoots, creative clashes, behind the scenes power plays. Mona finally decided to stop letting it slide, and in doing so, she sent a message not just to Kirk and Rasheeda, but to everyone involved. Loyalty matters, so does respect for the brand. It also shows a shift in how reality TV operates. Mona's not chasing the loudest drama anymore. She's chasing people who know how to show up, play their part, and still keep it authentic. That balance is what she's betting the future of Love and Hip Hop on. As for Kirk and Rasheeda, they may still have fans, and they may even land on another platform. But their era with Mona, that door looks shut for good. So what do you guys think? Did Mona do the right thing, or did she just lose two of her biggest stars? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more reality TV tea.
Moment that sent the internet into a frenzy. Kirk sprang at Rasheeda in a way no one expected from the guy she'd stood with for years. Now viewers are wondering what happened behind the scenes. Was this a one-time outburst or a glimpse of something far darker? Rasheeda has not commented publicly, but insiders claim she is devastated and done. Meanwhile, VH1 insiders suggest that this controversy may imperil not only Kirk's career, but the whole franchise. Stay right there, because what we're about to disclose will have you stunned. Under the intense glare of the production lights, the Love and Hip Hop set was buzzing with the typical controlled chaos. Cameras in place, helpers racing around, makeup artists performing last-minute touch-ups. Kirk Frost strode onto the scene with a strained face, his mouth clenched as if fighting back a storm. Rasheeda sat in the corner, scrolling through her phone, attempting to seem calm, but anybody who knew her could see the emotion simmering just beneath the surface. The tension between them was cold, and the entire team sensed it. Something was odd. Something was about to shatter. What the audience didn't realize was that only seconds before the cameras started filming, Kirk discovered texts on Rasheeda's phone. They weren't provocative or scandalous, but they were private. She was venting to a buddy about Kirk's latest transgression. She had wrote, "I don't know how much longer I can pretend this marriage is fine." Kirk saw it. He didn't say anything. He merely proceeded to his designated spot on set and waited for the action to begin. But within, he was seething. The sequence they were intending to film was intended to be easy, a discussion on their son's school predicament. But when the director called for action, Kirk couldn't fake it. Instead of keeping to the script, he went on a diatribe. "Is that how you truly feel? Pretending for the camera while pulling me behind my back?" His voice was low and piercing. Rasheeda looked up, surprised. This was not in the script, not even close. "What are you talking about?" she inquired, her voice already breaking. "Your little messages." "I saw everything," Kirk shouted, edging closer to her. The team paused, uncertain if this was dramatic acting or actual life unfolding before them. The tension was thick, and the air seemed heavy. Rasheeda's eyes expanded. "Did you go through my phone?" "Don't act like you're innocent," Kirk said. "You've been making derogatory remarks about me while smiling in my face. That is not true, Rasheeda, and I'm sick of false." At this time, the director attempted to cut the scene, signifying a pause, but Kirk refused to stop. His emotions had taken control. Rasheeda rose up, tears in her eyes, her voice trembling as she said, "I need to vent to someone, Kirk. I can't keep it all in anymore. You are never there. You lie. You're a cheat. I'm drowning." Those words pushed Kirk over the edge. He quickly raised his hand. Nobody expected what occurred next. His palm made contact with Rasheeda's cheek in what seemed like slow motion to everyone watching. The harsh smack rang around the studio. Gasps flooded the air. Someone dropped a clipboard. Rasheeda was transfixed, astonished, her face turned away, one hand slowly raising to touch the point where he had smacked her. There was a split second of quiet, then everything erupted. Crew members rushed forward. The assistant director yelled for security. One of the sound men hurried over to Rasheeda and gently guided her away. Kirk just stood there.
So it sounded like he was about to hit her. He got that heated that he was going to hit her. Damn. That's just, damn, bro.
Breathing heavily, his eyes wide as if he couldn't believe what he'd just accomplished. But it was finished. It was irreversible. The cameras continued rolling, not on purpose, but because of shock. The film was shot from several viewpoints.
Are you looking to start your own business? Well, look no further than busy.com. Right now, we'll complete your LLC filing free.
Kirk Frost, a longtime cast member, was caught on film beating his wife. Outside the set, word traveled rapidly. A crew member had already texted someone. "Something horrible has just happened." Kirk slapped Rasheeda on camera. And with that, the chain reaction began. Within minutes, social media took off. Rasheeda's name was already buzzing as she was led to her changing room. Fans were in amazement. Nobody wanted to trust what they heard. However, the words continued coming in. Everyone had a version of the story, and none of them portrayed Kirk favorably. Meanwhile, back in her dressing room, Rasheeda sat quietly. Her makeup spilled, and her cheeks were already crimson. She did not weep. Not anymore. The tears had dried up. Now there was just shock, betrayal, and a peculiar sensation of relief, as if something long concealed had finally emerged. She muttered to her stylist, "He really did it. He truly struck me in front of everyone." Outside the door, the producers were panicked. They were fighting on what to do. Some people wanted to halt the entire shoot. Others said they needed to issue a statement before the tape surfaced. But one thing was certain, this was not going to remain secret. Someone had previously videotaped it with their phone. Even though the network's cameras caught everything in good definition, the shaky phone film would be the first to be shared on the internet. Kirk had departed the set. No apologies. There's no explanation. Just strode out, shoulders tense and face inscrutable. He did not speak to anyone, not even his manager. He just got into his car and drove away. The first footage became available online the next morning. Grainy, wobbly, yet recognizable. Kirk Frost slaps Rasheeda. The responses were quick. Fans were upset. People urged for him to be fired, jailed, or canceled. Celebrities began speaking up. One rapper tweeted, "No excuses, no apologies, just disgusting." An R&B singer wrote, "I grew up watching them. Now I'm heartbroken." Even Mona Scott, the show's executive producer, couldn't remain silent. She issued a cryptic but obvious message: "Violence has no place in our production. Decisions are being made." Rumors circulated that Kirk had been suspended indefinitely. Others stated that via the entire season. Rasheeda remained silent during it all. However, the stillness did not stay long. Hours later, she shared a single photograph on Instagram. A black screen. There's no caption. Her supporters, however, swamped the comment section with their support. "We love you. Leave him. You deserve better." The love poured in, and with it came the pressure for her to speak, to tell her side of the tale. What the rest of the world didn't know was that Rasheeda was fighting a battle of emotions on the inside: humiliation, rage, heartbreak, confusion. She wasn't sure if she would sue charges. All she knew was that everything had changed. Not checking in. Others were astonished. However, too few people confessed that they were not shocked. One comment from a fellow cast member said, "We've seen the indications for years. It was only a question of time." Rasheeda gazed at the writing for several minutes. Time. How long had she waited for things to improve? How many times had she told herself that love meant staying? Kirk was keeping a low profile around town. "I'm locked up in a friend's condo, away from the cameras and the mayhem." He had not phoned Rasheeda, hadn't apologized. Instead, he continued rehearsing the incident in his memory, attempting to excuse it and transform it into a reaction rather than an assault. He convinced himself she had provoked him. She pushed too far, that it was simply an error. No matter how many times he attempted to reframe it, the fact remained evident. He crossed an uncrossable line. His telephone rang. It was Monica Scott. He didn't respond. It rang again. Then came a text saying, "We need to talk. This is serious." Kirk placed the phone down and paced the room. He knew the network was outraged. He was aware that the tape would be scrutinized, legal teams would be brought in, and statements would be prepared. He was also aware that his reputation, or what remained of it, was rapidly deteriorating. Meanwhile, the internet went into overdrive. Fans pulled up previous videos of Kirk denigrating Rasheeda. They evaluated his body language, tone, and previous arguments. The hashtags #Justice for Rasheeda and #FireKirkFrost trended for hours. Even news sites covered the event, calling it a reality television scandal turned real-life tragedy. Panelists argued whether VH1 should cancel his contract. Insiders told podcast hosts that this wasn't Kirk's first time acting aggressively off camera. In the middle of it all, one character discreetly entered the spotlight: Rasheeda's mother. She was known for her intense protection of her daughter, and she did not mince words. During an unexpected live session, she talked with passion in her eyes. "I warned her years ago that you cannot build love on grief. And now look." He placed his hands on her. There's no going back from that. Her statements reverberated over social media like a battle cry. Fans rallied around her, applauding her bravery and describing her as the voice Rasheeda needed right now. Rasheeda watched the video in quiet. It brought tears to her eyes, not because of what her mother had said, but because she knew it was true. She had ignored the warnings, gut instincts, and restless nights. All for what? A marriage that had turned into a prison, a companion who...
Looking to make 2025 the year that you create your best tracks? With Splice, I'm starting the year right. For just 99 cents, I unlock millions of samples, presets, and loops to fuel my creativity.
Smack. We solved the dread. Please don't gaslight us. Rasheeda did not answer, not publicly, but in secret she was preparing. Her team had called an attorney, not to sue Kirk, but to consider her choices. Divorce was on the table, so I decided to leave the program totally. She was bored of performing. I am weary of faking, weary of carrying a narrative. But as the days progressed, another twist appeared. Raw and unedited footage from before the slap was leaked. Kirk was seen pacing, mumbling under his breath and saying things like, "I'm done playing the good guy, and she's going to learn today." The disclosure verified supporters' fears. The smack was more than simply in the heat of the moment. It was premeditated. He was already on a downward spiral when the cameras grabbed him. This realization changed everything. Even those who attempted to support Kirk backed down. Fellow cast members began to distance themselves. Producers started re-editing episodes to reduce his appearance. Rumors circulated that he would be totally cut out of future tales. Throughout it all, Rasheeda stayed fairly silent. However, her strength began to manifest in unexpected ways. She shared photos of her children happy. She broadcast live from her business, joking with staff. She did not mention Kirk once, but her message was apparent. She was not broken, not this time. Still, Kirk's position was unraveling faster than he could handle. And request a sit-down portion, wiped piece by piece, and no one came to his defense publicly. But what stung Kirk the most was not the business losses or the media blast. Rasheeda was silent. He had anticipated her to strike out, maybe going live and screaming his name into the emptiness. However, she didn't. She simply, they moved on. That felt terrible. It made him understand she was no longer upset. She was done. But Kirk couldn't let go that lightly. In a last-ditch effort to influence the narrative, he contacted one of the show's producers and requested a sit-down portion. "I need to tell my side," he said. "Let me explain before they cancel me permanently." The producer hesitated. There were hazards. However, drama was money. And Kirk, desperate, raw, and rejected, was drama gold. A few days later, cameras were rolling again, this time in a closed studio. Kirk sat beneath the lights, perspiration pouring on his forehead. His voice broke as he started. "I grew up in a chaotic environment," he remarked. "I never seen a good relationship. Perhaps this explains why I make so many mistakes. Maybe it is why I messed up."
All right, Kirk. I grew up in a violent environment. Never seen nobody have a good relationship. All right. Is he gonna blame it on? All right.
With Rasheeda, he cleaned his face, but I never imagined it would go this far. The footage was intended to be damage control. Instead, it started another fire. The audience saw through his words. They termed it performative, manipulative, another attempt to avoid accountability. Clips from the interview went viral, but not in the way Kirk anticipated. One admirer said, "He isn't apologetic for what he done. He's sorry he was caught." At the same moment, a new voice entered the storm, one no one expected. Kirk's eldest daughter from a previous relationship shared a puzzling story. "He's been like this. You're only finding out now." It was like unlocking the floodgates. Other relatives, former acquaintances, and even an old flame came forward, revealing years of mental instability, control difficulties, and poisonous conduct that had been kept concealed behind cameras for far too long. Rasheeda seen from a distance. Every new discovery seemed like a piece of a puzzle that she hadn't aware was being assembled. Things started to make sense. The subtle manipulation, the gaslighting, and the way Kirk always found a way to shift blame. For years, she bore shame that was not her own. Now she was putting it down piece by piece. Even as Kirk's image faded, several on the show attempted to capitalize on the event. Producers convened a covered gathering to explore twisting the drama into a special episode. What's the idea? Bring Rasheeda and Kirk face to face for a televised confrontation. The ratings would be huge. The buzz is irrepressible. However, there was one problem. Rasheeda refused to participate. Her team immediately denied the request. She wasn't prepared for a chance for atonement. How with an offer? Creative autonomy, full editing rights, and a large payment. Rasheeda was torn. On the one hand, she wanted to maintain her calm. On the other hand, she realized this could be her final chapter, a chance to conclude the narrative on her terms. After days of deliberation, she said yes. But there was one condition. Kirk would not know she had consented until the cameras were rolling. When the day of filming occurred, Kirk entered the set expecting a solo segment. He practiced lines in his brain, attempting to seem weak, sorry, and repentant. But when he saw Rasheeda seated across from him, calm and cool, his lips dried up. She did not smile. She did not meet him. She just waited. The cameras began rolling. Kirk attempted to speak first, but Rasheeda raised her hand. No, she said gently, you said enough. You are now listening. The studio gave you everything, she said, love, loyalty, and patience. Even if you did not earn it, I stayed. I battled for us. And what did you do? You made me appear foolish. You harmed me more than once, over and over again. Kirk bowed his head. And suddenly the entire world saw what I've been dealing with. You still couldn't accept genuine responsibility. You played the victim. You made excuses. Kirk attempted to intervene. I was hurting too. No, she interjected. You can't injure me and then complain about your own misery. That is not love. That's control. I'm done with it. Kirk's eyes welled up with tears, but Rasheeda did not break. You don't get to dictate my story anymore. I do. And this, she gestured around the set, is closure. Not for you, for me. Kirk was astonished. For the first time in years, he was speechless. The footage from that shot was never shown in its entirety. Only a few snippets were published, including Rasheeda's statements and Kirk's replies. However, even these excerpts sent shockwaves across the fan base. People applauded Rasheeda for her strength. They named her a role model. Women throughout the country shared.
Do you believe in God? I didn't until my homie from the East Coast got paid $890,000 for the mistreatment he endured.
Dinner, and she was like, I've been messing with him 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 20.
Tension was at an all-time high, suffocating like thick smoke in a room with no windows. The drama between Kendra, Rasheeda, and Kirk Frost had gone from whispers in back alleys to front-page chaos across every entertainment blog, fan forum, and YouTube channel.
Rasheeda stands firm. I ain't leaving my man. Loyalty or love blindness. Wow, I know you are shocked right now. Staying power or staying stuck? Rasheeda dropped a couple of bars and she said, this a light day. It's light work and you all can pop off cause I ain't leaving Kirk. Rasheeda, please. Just when we all think it couldn't get any worse, it does. What's up? FAM. Buckle up because this tea is not lukewarm. It's piping hot. And it's got the internet talking. The shade room's buzzing. And the love detective's out in full force. We're talking about none other than the boss chick herself, Rasheeda, who has once again made it crystal clear. I ain't leaving my man. Now, depending on where you stand, you're either clapping for her loyalty or side-eyeing her decision. But one thing's for sure, this is the definition of ride or die energy. So today, we're diving headfirst into this headline, not just to spill the tea, but to break down what it really means when a woman, especially one in the public eye, boldly declares her commitment after facing storms most of us wouldn't survive a week in. Some of you may be asking, WHO is Rasheeda. If you've been living under a pop culture rug, let's catch you up real quick. Rasheeda is not just a rapper or reality star. She's a certified brand, from charting hits in the early 2000s to building fashion empires and beauty lines. The Love and HipHop Atlanta star has shown she's more than just the music. Now wait, before we continue, have you clicked that subscribe button? Now click and turn on your notification bell to stay updated on our latest gossip. Don't forget to like the video. We love and celebrate you all, but alongside all that glam and glow up, she's also known for one other thing: her unwavering loyalty to her husband, Kirk Frost. Now, Kirk hasn't exactly had the cleanest record, from explosive cheating scandals to unexpected paternity surprises. Their relationship has been the kind of soap opera you couldn't script better, but despite it all, Rasheeda has stayed, and not quietly. This week, Rasheeda turned heads and dominated timelines when she said loud and proud, "I ain't leaving my man." She said it with her chest, not with shame, not with hesitation, but with confidence, and like wildfire. Social media erupted. Some applauded her strength, saying it takes a powerful woman to forgive and rebuild. Others labeled it toxic, calling it a masterclass in settling for less. So, which is it? Let's talk about it. Loyalty vs limits. See, in today's culture where cutting people off is considered a flex, Rasheeda represents the other side of the coin. The old school mindset of working things out, fighting for your family, and staying rooted even when the soil gets messy. And let's be honest, Kirk and Rasheeda's journey hasn't been a fairy tale, but it's been real, from public humiliation to private healing. Their story is layered. It's not perfect, but it's theirs. But this also raises deeper questions that go beyond celebrity gossip. At what point does loyalty become emotional martyrdom? Is Rasheeda empowering women to forgive, or encouraging them to tolerate pain in the name of love? And most importantly, is love worth it when trust has been broken on?
I feel like, she's a strong person for staying with Kirk, but she should have been there, Kirk, bro. Like, that's just crazy. I ain't leaving. You can forget, but this is light work. Y'all gonna fuck up shit. I ain't leaving Kirk. Like, bro. Are you serious? Especially what I just heard off these other videos, man. This is Kirk is a bad, bad man. Slapping you on set and all this, man. It's crazy.
A national stage. Fans react. Twitter didn't hold back. One user posted, "Rasheeda deserves peace, not loyalty points." Another wrote, "You all act like you all wouldn't stay if you had houses, businesses, and 20 years invested. And honestly, that last part hits. We're quick to judge. But relationships built over decades, with shared finances, kids, and businesses, don't just unravel over a single scandal. Sometimes it's deeper than what we see. Still, the division is real. One camp says Rasheeda is a blueprint for patience and restoration, and the other, they see a woman dimming her worth in exchange for familiarity. Here's my personal thought, and this is your space to agree or not. Rasheeda's decision isn't about weakness. It's about her story, her standards, and what she's chosen to accept, whether you agree or not. She's standing tall in her truth, and that, in itself, is powerful, because at the end of the day, we don't live behind those doors. We see edited snippets, exaggerated clips, and viral quotes.
True. Okay.
But the real Rasheeda, she's choosing to own her choice. Yes, you watching this. Is Rasheeda a symbol of strength in love, or a woman stuck in a cycle she deserves to break? Drop your take in the comments and let's get this conversation moving. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more tea with substance, stories with spice, and truths that hit. Until next time, stay real, stay...
You're not ready for this hip-hop and heartbreak just collided in a messy explosion of paternity secrets. And Carly Red is lighting the match. Word on the street. Kirk Frost's dirtiest skeleton just crawled out of the DNA closet, and his so-called fatherhood status is now under serious fire. Fans are spiraling after Carly reportedly shoved receipts in Rasheeda's face and demanded the truth get aired before VH1 even hit record on the new season. And let's just cite tempers boiling. Things hit peak chaos when Rasheeda, who's always played first lady of family values, snapped and said she wouldn't let her man's name get dragged without a fight. Picture this. Carly, furious and wounded, going full courtroom showdown on Kirk, while half the family picked sides like it's a messy custody battle, and while producers scrambled to catch every scandalous second, fans were left asking, staged drama or the ultimate betrayal before the finale? Then Rasheeda dropped the line that cracked the internet: if you lied about your own blood, what else are you hiding from me? Her voice broke, fury laced with disbelief. Now, all eyes are glued to the fallout as alliances crumble and production. Mics catch every whisper behind those luxury doors. This isn't just T-Tits lava. So buckle up, because Kirk's trembling hand hovered over that report like it might burn him alive. The papers shaking like a guilty conscience. The room froze. Meanwhile, Carly, arms locked and eyes blazing, stood like a whole weapon of truth. Cameras didn't miss a beat. And poor Rasheeda. She sat frozen, watching the fantasy she built collapse like cheap IKEA furniture. One lab result, away from destroying it all, ... ready to collapse. And then, boom, Carly's voice sliced through the silence like a razor dipped in truth. So this is it? She asked, calm but sharp. This is what you've been hiding? She jabbed her finger at the lab seal while holding up the first page like it was a death certificate. Kirk, normally full of slick talk and swagger, looked ghostly, his mouth opened, throat clenched, but nothing came out. Just empty panic as he stared at the page like he could blink it out of existence. That's when Rasheeda stepped forward, tears shimmering, voice breaking. Kirk, please say, it's fake. Tell me you are honest about our child. His jaw clenched. Sweat crawled down his forehead. Eyes full of shame, he shook his head slowly, whispering, I thought I was protecting us. Carly let out a low, bitter laugh. Protecting us, she echoed, stepping in closer like a prosecutor. So lying is now love. Her glare burned right through him, exposing every crack. Even the crew behind her glanced around, stunned. Meanwhile, the live chat, exploding. Fans couldn't believe it. This family is shattered. One typed, another comment screamed. He faked it before Rasheeda saw. Carly wasn't done. She raised her voice and accused him. You switched the labels. You changed the numbers. Do you get what that means? Kirk's eyes flickered. About to speak, then choked. Rasheeda, chest heaving, stared at the envelope holding Kirk's original test, the one Carly dug up. And suddenly, it was all out there. Was now out in the open, and just when the tension couldn't get any thicker, Rasheeda's younger sister stepped in holding her phone, looking like she'd seen a ghost. Then knock knock. A single knock that hit like a gunshot. With a voice barely holding it together, she muttered. Rasheeda stood nearby, trembling, torn between needing the truth and fearing what it might destroy. Her heartbeat thudded louder than the production lights' hum. She loved Kirk, but the idea that he'd betrayed her, that was a dagger through the soul. Carly. Kirk finally croaked, his voice wobbling like a boat in a storm. Why now? Why blow it all up tonight? His question hung in the air, drenched in panic, but Carly's answer came like a sniper shot, quiet, steady, and merciless. Because I waited. I checked every detail, verified every lab, tracked every damn signature. You've lied long enough. Rasheeda, choking on tears, stepped forward. Kirk, her voice cracked. Don't lie to me about this. This is sacred. Kirk reached for the envelope, like it was radioactive. His fingers trembled, brushing the seal. He shut his eyes, swallowed the moment, then peeled it open. One page, one line, one truth. The silence was deafening, the sound of that paper louder than a scream. His eyes went wide, hands clenched. Rasheeda froze, breath caught in her throat. Then Kirk...
Damn, so those aren't even... That's not even her kids, man, bro. Which one? Did they have, what, 3 kids?
His whole body sank under the weight. Shoulders collapsed. It's real, he muttered, hoarse and broken. I'm not the father, I swear. The room erupted in gasps, some silent, some sharp. Viewers at home gripped their phones. Screenshots flying, thumbs hovering over record. Meanwhile, Carly stood unshaken, locked in like a sniper. Rasheeda's tears glimmered under studio lights. And Kirk, he just twitched on. Social media, detonated. I can't believe this, one fan wrote. Another said, he lied to her face. Carly, not done yet, pulled a flash drive from her purse like it was a final bullet. Walked to a waiting laptop, plugged in, one click, and boom, on screen, cold, calculated messages between Kirk and a mystery co-conspirator. One read, swap the original with the fake report. Do it when no one's looking. Make sure Rasheeda never sees the real one. The chill in those words felt like a slap to the gut. No more excuses, just cold, hard betrayal. The cold, emotionless texts hit like a punch to the gut. Rasheeda's knees buckled, and she dropped onto the couch, hand clamped over her mouth to muffle a scream. And Kirk, Mr. Reality TV tough guy. His voice cracked into pieces. I thought I was protecting you. I never meant to hurt you, he stammered. But with a mountain of receipts stacked against him, his excuse sounded like a soggy tissue in a hurricane. Then Boom Rasheeda's sister stepped forward from the crowd, clutching another envelope like it held the 10 Commandments. Her voice shook as she dropped the next nuke. There's more. More. Oh baby yes. She had recordings, secret convos, and the cherry on top, Kirk's own voice admitting he was terrified the truth would send Rasheeda packing. In one clip, he said, I'm afraid she'll leave me if she finds out the real results. The room went ice cold. Every pause, every syllable echoed like courtroom evidence. No music, no edits. Just raw betrayal on full blast. And in that silence, Kirk's head dropped, tears streaming as his whole fake perfect world unraveled. Rasheeda stared at him, not just heartbroken but shattered. How could you lie about our child? She cried. How could your whole life be built on a lie? Carly stepped in like a battle-worn sister, reaching out her hand. You deserve the truth, she whispered. And for just a moment, something unthinkable happened. Rasheeda took her hand, united in betrayal. Their clasp was caught on camera, cementing the most viral moment of the season. But hold up plot, twist alert. Just when it felt like the final truth had dropped, a production assistant slid one last sealed envelope into Rasheeda's trembling hands. From a private investigator, she stood there, breathing like she'd run a marathon, pulse pounding in her ears. The fear of what Kirk might have done was now more terrifying than any confirmation. Carly, Kirk asked weakly, his voice barely above water. ChatGPT said, wavering like a ship caught in a storm. Kirk asked, why now? What's the point of exposing this tonight? His question hung heavy with despair. Then came Carly's reply, quiet, but razor sharp, because I left no stone unturned. I verified the lab, every signature, every link in the chain. You've lied long enough. Rasheeda stepped forward, tears blurring her vision. Kirk, she whispered, voice breaking, tell me this isn't real. Don't lie about something this sacred. As he reached for the envelope, his hand trembled, fingers brushing the paper like a man facing a precipice. He paused, closed his eyes briefly, bracing for impact. A resigned sigh escaped before he flipped open the cover and pulled out the top page, eyes scanning the official lab seal. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the rustle of paper. Kirk's eyes widened in horror as he studied the data, knuckles whitening. Rasheeda gasped, fear tightening every muscle. Finally, Kirk's shoulders slumped, crushed by years of deceit. It's real, he rasped. I'm not the father, I swear. The onlookers gasped, collectively some covered their mouths, others gripped phones, thumbs hovering over record buttons. Cameras captured Carly's steely resolve, Rasheeda's tear-filled eyes, and Kirk's trembling lip. Social media exploded with stunned followers typing, the family is torn apart, and I can't believe Kirk would do this. Seizing the moment, Carly pulled a flash drive from her purse, approached a waiting laptop, plugged it in, and clicked. Suddenly, a scroll of chilling messages appeared on the big screen, meticulously planned fake texts between Kirk and an unknown accomplice plotting to swap the original with a doctored report. Swap the original when no one's looking. Make sure Rasheeda never sees the real results. The icy, calculating tone hit like a kick to the gut. At that moment, Rasheeda's knees gave way, and she collapsed onto the couch, muffling her screams with her hand. Meanwhile, Kirk's once commanding voice cracked. I thought I was protecting you. I never intended to hurt you. His confession sounded weak against the mountain of proof. Suddenly, their hands clasped tightly, a powerful image that cameras captured, destined to be the season's most explosive moment. But just when it seemed every secret was out, a final bombshell hit. A sealed envelope from a private investigator was handed to Rasheeda by a production assistant. With trembling fingers, she opened it to reveal a dossier packed with lab receipts, invoices, and forged signatures, painstaking proof of Kirk's scam. The receipts confirmed tampered results. The invoices traced payments to a shady lab, and the signatures all matched Kirk's unmistakable handwriting. The evidence was undeniable. The weight of Kirk's betrayal crushed him like an unstoppable force. He collapsed, head in hands, as family and friends exchanged stunned, sorrowful glances, some stepping forward to comfort Rasheeda, others frozen in silence. Beyond the heartbreak, the production crew recognized gold raw, unfiltered emotion, playing out live. Rasheeda rose from the couch, trembling hands wiping tears, her voice surprisingly strong despite the pain. I loved you with all my heart. But love built on lies. That wasn't love at all. Her eyes burned as she locked onto Kirk. He looked up, regret and shame swirling in his tear-filled eyes, the tension palpable like a wall between them. From a distance, Carly watched. Torn between triumph and empathy, she'd uncovered the truth, but hadn't predicted the wreckage left behind. Then Rasheeda's mother spoke, her voice quivering with pain and fury. She scolded Kirk. You promised honesty, yet you chose deceit even after vowing to protect my daughter. Kirk offered no defense, only a nod and closed eyes shrouded in shame. Cameras captured every anguished face as the confrontation wound down, documenting fallout that would ripple through the next season. Each person was trapped in the personal chaos of public exposure. Even after the director called cut, the charged silence lingered. Later, viewers would replay every glance and tremor, dissecting Kirk's motives and Rasheeda's future. Hope for repair hung by a thread in that tense room where alliances shifted and trust shattered. Rasheeda stood at the crossroads of heartbreak and resilience, while Carly wore the crown of truth. Her mission accomplished, but the battle far from over, tinged with the sorrow of a friendship forever altered. Kirk remained slumped on the floor, a man unraveling under the weight of his own fear and lies. As the lights dimmed and cameras shifted to the next scene, one question hung heavy in the air. Can a love betrayed this deeply ever heal? What began with a simple envelope had spiraled into a storm of emotions, leaving the entire household frozen in stunned disbelief. Clutching herself as if trying to hold the shattered pieces together, Rasheeda retreated to a recliner by the window, while Kirk stayed rooted on the floor, hands gripping the open envelope, head bowed in defeat. Nearby, Carly's expression faded into darkness. Outside, twilight slanted through the curtains, casting long shadows across the floor. Clearing her throat softly, Carly broke the silence. I know you're hurting, but you both need to talk this through. Rasheeda's red-rimmed eyes met Carly's, searching for words. Her voice cracked as she whispered, what else is there to say? Kirk lifted his head, voice hoarse with sorrow, begging, please, help me make this right. ChatGPT said. His urgent tone sliced through Rasheeda's pain, stirring a flicker of turmoil in her wounded heart. The cameras paused briefly as the crew called for a break after the emotional storm. The sudden silence was jarring. A producer stepped forward, offered water, and politely asked the crew to step aside. Kirk rose unsteadily, nodding numbly. Rasheeda remained seated, struggling. I thought I could control the fallout. A hand rested gently on his shoulder. Her soft words, a stark warning. You underestimated the power of truth. Now you face the consequences. He swallowed hard, nodded, bracing himself to return to the battlefield. Meanwhile, Rasheeda stood, wiping tears with renewed resolve. Back in the living room, cameras rolled as she took her first steps toward Kirk. While Carly stepped aside, eyes locked on every move, fans watching live held their breath, caught between hope for reconciliation and the threat of a final breakup. Rasheeda stood over Kirk, who remained seated, head bowed. Her voice, though trembling, carried strength. You owe me the explanation of a lifetime. He met her gaze, regret shining through tear-filled eyes. I'm sorry, he stammered, voice shaking. I was scared. She silenced him with a raised hand. What were you so terrified of? Taking a deep breath, she pressed on. If I wasn't everything you deserved.
Rasheeda stands firm. I ain't leaving my man. Loyalty all of blindness. Wow, I know you are shocked.
Wouldn't it be cool if building a website felt like working in your favorite design tool? With Framer,
dinner, and she was like, I've been messing with him 2006.
Others demanded explanations, and a few just wanted the tea. But Rasheeda didn't have answers, not for them and not for herself. She walked into their bedroom, her bedroom now, she supposed. The bed looked too large, too cold. Her eyes landed on Kirk's side of the closet. She stepped toward it, hesitated, then opened the door. His clothes hung neatly as if nothing had changed, but everything had. She pulled out one of his jackets, held it for a moment, then threw it onto the floor. Her phone buzzed again. This time it was Kirk. She stared at the screen, then slowly answered. Rasheeda, please. I didn't mean for it to come out this way. I swear to you, it's not what it looks like, he stammered. She closed her eyes, her voice steady but cold. Then tell me what it is, Kirk. Explain to me how the woman who's been disrespecting me for months suddenly ends up in your bed. There was silence on the line. Then came the excuses. Stress, frustration, emotional confusion. Words meant to soften the blow. But every syllable only made it worse. You destroyed everything we built, she whispered, her voice trembling. And for what? He begged for a second chance, begged to meet in person, to explain face to face. A few days later, she agreed. They met at a quiet restaurant, neutral ground. The lighting was dim, the mood tense. Kirk looked worn down. He stood as she walked in, but Rasheeda didn't smile. She didn't hug him. She sat down, arms folded. I'm here. Now talk. He leaned forward, eyes filled with remorse. It wasn't planned. I didn't go out looking to cheat. She came on strong. I was vulnerable. I messed up. But it didn't mean anything. She narrowed her eyes. It meant enough for you to lie to me, repeatedly. So don't downplay it now. They talked, or rather, he talked. She listened, barely reacting. But inside, her heart was waging a war. Memories of their love clashed with the reality of his betrayal. She thought about their kids, the businesses they'd built, the late nights spent dreaming about the future. And
dinner, and she was like, I've been messing with him 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20.
of public struggles. But this felt different. This wasn't just a mistake. This was betrayal in its rawest, most personal form. As the hours ticked by, the messages poured in. Friends, colleagues, castmates, some offered support. Others demanded explanations, and a few just wanted the tea. But Rasheeda didn't have answers, not for them and not for herself. She walked into their bedroom, her bedroom now, worn down. He stood as she walked in, but Rasheeda didn't smile. She her eyes. It meant enough for you to lie to me, repeatedly. So don't downplay it now. They talked, or rather, he talked. She listened, barely reacting. But inside, her heart was waging a war. Memories of their love clashed with the reality of his betrayal. She thought about their kids, the businesses they'd built, the late nights spent dreaming about the future. And now, everything was in question. Later that night, alone in her car, she broke down. The kind of cry that shakes your soul. The kind that empties you. But when the tears dried, something shifted. She wasn't just going to sit in this storm. She went home, packed a small bag, and disappeared for a weekend without telling anyone where she was going. Her phone stayed off. The world would have to wait. She needed space to think, to breathe, to remember who she was before the cameras, before the scandal, before the heartbreak. She drove until the city disappeared behind her. She ended up at a small coastal town, far from the lights and drama. The ocean air was crisp, the silence, healing. There, she reflected, on her life, on her identity, on everything she had sacrificed for a man who couldn't give her honesty in return. She journaled, she cried, she laughed bitterly at old memories. But through it all, she found a sliver of peace. A reminder that she was not just Kirk's wife or a reality star. She was Rasheeda, a mother, a businesswoman, a survivor. When she returned to Atlanta, she didn't go straight home. She went to her office. She called her team. She picked up where she had left off, and something amazing happened. Her passion returned. Her creativity sparked. Her business began to thrive again. She wasn't waiting for validation or permission. She was creating her new chapter. Meanwhile, Kendra wasn't done. She continued releasing posts, throwing shade, adding fuel to the fire. But Rasheeda? She didn't flinch. Not anymore. She had learned how to block the noise, how to walk through the flames without getting burned. When the divorce papers were ready, she didn't hesitate this time. She signed them in silence, then lit a candle at her altar and prayed for peace. Not just for herself, but for the healing of everyone involved, including Kirk. And when Kirk called again, pleading, crying, broken, Rasheeda simply said, "I hope you find what you're looking for. But it's not me." In the weeks that followed, Rasheeda began to rebuild. She hired new staff, launched a mentorship program for young women, and began speaking openly about her journey, not for pity, but to empower others. And when the media tried to spin the story, she reclaimed it. "This isn't a story of betrayal," she said during a podcast interview. "It's a story of rebirth." And truly, it was. Rasheeda's journey had become something shattered. It was a reminder that no matter how loud the world gets, healing is a quiet, deliberate act. Now the world watches not to see if she'll crumble, but to see how brightly she'll rise.
Nobody saw it coming, not the actors nor the crew, and especially not Rasheeda. In what is now regarded as one of the most stunning moments in love and hip-hop history, cameras captured
dinner, and she was like, "I've been messing with him 2016, 17.
Yandy breaks down in tears after Mendy sees shocking confession. Lawless 13 few hold on to your wigs, y'all. Because what just went down on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 13 has officially blown the lace clean off the franchise. Now tell me this, what do you do when your husband confesses to cheating? Not just with anyone, but with a fellow castmate who's been sipping drinks across the same reunion couches for years. Oh yeah, it's that deep. Because Kirk Frost just flipped the whole table of reality TV betrayal. And Rasheeda, she ain't yelling, she ain't throwing hands. Sis is just standing there shattered, silent, shook. Why? Because Kirk allegedly confessed to having a full-blown affair with none other than Carly Red. Yes, Carly, I stay in mess. Red, and it happened on camera. No, this ain't a storyline. No, this ain't a plot twist. This is pure scandal stew, and it's boiling over. Leaked audio? Yep. Hidden texts? All there. Cast in shock? You already know. And guess what? Love and Hip Hop didn't cut the cameras. They leaned in. So buckle up, press record, and grab your popcorn, cause I'm about to take y'all inside the messiest confession Lotl has ever seen. Y'all, just when you thought Kirk Frost couldn't pop in his Tesla, what kind of midlife meltdown is this? Now here's the plot twist. Rasheeda apparently knew about Nyla before the Carly situation. She allegedly confronted Kirk about it off camera and he denied it like his life depended on it. But then this happened. Kirk's burner phone, yes, he still has one, somehow got left at the Frost Bistro one night. A bartender picked it up, saw the wallpaper, a mirror selfie of Nyla wearing one of Kirk's chains, and returned it straight to Rasheeda. Imagine Rasheeda unlocking a phone and the first thing she sees is some Gen Z side chick wearing her man's jewelry. Y'all, I need a moment. Reunion set to explode. No, the cast is getting ready for the season 13 reunion, and producers are already preparing extra security. Rasheeda hasn't confirmed she'll attend, but word is, Mona Scott is going to open a Frost Bistro, side chick edition. And don't even get me started on that reunion. If Mona Scott Young knows what she's doing, she'll air that episode with no commercials, 360-degree cameras, and a priest in the background. But here's the real tea, fam. This ain't just about Kirk or Rasheeda. This is about what happens when a woman's loyalty gets played with one too many times. When your partner turns into your biggest op, and when the people you trust the most are the ones pushing the knife deeper. So now, I want you to weigh in. Do you think Rasheeda should forgive Kirk again? Or is it finally time she bosses up and leaves him in the group chat of regrets? Should Carly vulnerable? Boy, shut up. You meant for this. You've been meant for mess since 2011. And guess what? That was only the beginning, because what followed next wasn't just awkward. It was a full-on cast civil war, DM leaks, burner account scandals, and a shady spar seat that fans discovered on Twitter. But before we get into the mess that unfolded the very next morning, including what Rasheeda posted in her now deleted Insta story and who Carly tried to blame it all on, we need to talk about what happened backstage when the cameras thought they stopped everything. So, where were we? Oh yeah, Rasheeda dipped, tears in her eyes, heart in pieces, and a mix still hot as hell. But baby, the tea was still boiling backstage. The minute Rasheeda walked out, producers scrambled. Cameras were still rolling, mics were still on, and somewhere in the control room, Mona Scott probably screamed, "Do not cut, Carly Red." Sis tried to disappear into that velvet lounge chair like it was a portal to 2010. Meanwhile, Spice was just giving her that Jamaican anti-death stare like she's the victim. And will Kirk ever recover, or is he just going to open a Frost Bistro? Side chick edition. And don't even get me started on that reunion. If Mona Scott Young everything short of offering her a mansion to get her on stage. The goal? To put Carly Red, Kirk, and Rasheeda face to face under hot lights, in front of cameras, and with no editing privileges. And if Rasheeda does
Did you know that nearly half of US TV streaming time is on Roku? With Roku's new self-service ad tool, it's easy to set up your own CTV campaigns. So you can tell.
You won't believe what just shook the world of hip hop and love. Rumors of a DNA bombshell have surfaced, and Carly Red is at the center of the controversy. Rumors that Kirk Frost's darkest secret has been revealed. His purported paternity claim is now being questioned, have admirers in disbelief. When Carly allegedly waved evidence in Rasheeda's face and demanded that the truth be revealed before the next season's filming began, tensions were running high. Tensions increased when Rasheeda, who had always spoken up for her family's honor, declared she would not be silent while her husband's legacy was destroyed in public. Imagine the scene, a furious yet heartbroken Carly facing Kirk in a heated argument that left everyone in awe. The family was split, with some supporting Kirk's fervent denials and others supporting Carly's audacious charges. One question remains as producers rush to film every intense moment for future episodes. Is this another staged twist or the biggest betrayal in the finale? Rasheeda thundered, "If you lied about your own blood, what else are you hiding from me? And from us?" Her voice cracked between rage and incredulity. Now spectators are kept on the edge of their seats as alliances break. Others placed their fingers to their mouths in mute dread, while others gripped their phones even more tightly, their thumbs hovering over the record buttons. Cameras whirred, catching the steely resolution in Carly's stance, the sheen of tears at Rasheeda's eyes, and the twitch of Kirk's lip. Social media was inundated with startled responses from followers who were watching at home. Fans are shocked. The family was left divided. "And I can't believe Kirk would do this," they typed quickly. Carly grabbed the opportunity and pulled out a flash drive from her purse. She went up to a laptop that was waiting, plugged it in, and then clicked once to project the contents onto a big screen. Lines of letters scrolled across, precisely planned fake messages between Kirk and an unidentified accomplice. One communications. Rasheeda opened fusion following the news. With her arm, she muttered. Kirk shuddered, tears streaming down his face. "I assumed it would," he acknowledged. "But now that I think about it, it really wrecked us." Rasheeda's tears came again, but this time they were filled with deep sadness rather than rage. She admitted, "I'm not sure if I can trust you again." Every painful phrase was discreetly absorbed by the visitors as the tension reverberated throughout the room. Carly walked over to Rasheeda's side and put a soft touch on her back. "You deserve honesty, regardless of what you decide," she replied softly. Rasheeda nodded, unsure if she could forgive, but aware that she needed to get her mind straightened up before continuing. Kirk continued to kneel in the hopes of some small measure of salvation, his hands squeezed as though in prayer. Rasheeda's cousin abruptly entered the room while holding her phone. She gasped, "I found something else." Kirk sent his lab contact an email to arrange payment. She displayed an email trail with bills, timeframes, and amounts. The betrayal was heightened by the
The tension between Rasheeda and Kirk Frost had been building for years. Their relationship had survived countless storms, from betrayals to public embarrassments. Rasheeda had always tried to hold the family together, believing that love, patience, and forgiveness could heal their wounds. But this time, something in her heart told her that enough was enough. It all began when Rasheeda discovered a series of hidden phone calls and text messages on Kirk's phone. At first, she wanted to believe there was an innocent explanation, but the gut feeling wouldn't go away. The trust she had fought so hard to rebuild was
Damn, he was missing a Carly the whole time, you know? That's crazy.
now slipping away again. She sat alone in her bedroom, scrolling through the endless messages that pointed to yet another betrayal. Kirk had promised he had changed. He had promised the past was behind them. Yet, here she was, reliving the same pain. Rasheeda's best friend, Kendra, had warned her that Kirk's patterns were dangerous. But Rasheeda always believed in second chances. This time, however, she could no longer defend him. Rasheeda met with her attorney quietly, away from the cameras, away from the chaos. Her voice trembled, but her decision was firm. "I want a divorce," she said. "It's over." The news quickly spread throughout Atlanta's entertainment circles. Friends, family, and fans were shocked, but many quietly supported her. Even Jasmine, who had once been at the center of Kirk's scandals, expressed her support for Rasheeda's decision. Kirk was blindsided. He had never imagined Rasheeda would actually walk away. In his mind, no matter how bad things got, she would always stay. This time, though, he had pushed too far. The weight of his actions finally came crashing down. Young Jock and Mendices were quick to contact Kirk. They knew the consequences of losing a strong woman like Rasheeda. Jock tried to console Kirk, but also reminded him that actions have consequences. Mendices, still dealing with his own life struggles, warned Kirk not to take Rasheeda's decision lightly. Meanwhile, Rasheeda stayed silent publicly, but made big moves behind the scenes. She removed Kirk from key business ventures, changed legal documents, and began preparing for life on her own. The Frost household, once a picture of unity, now felt like a battlefield. Mona Scott Young, always aware of how drama can shape storylines, immediately scheduled emergency meetings to capture this moment for the next season. She knew this was going to shake Love and Hip Hop to its core. As Rasheeda packed her bags, her tears fell softly, not because of regret, but because of the freedom she was finally allowing herself to claim. The chapter with Kirk was closing, and more than just a wife. The answer was just around the corner. The day of the final court hearing arrived. The air was heavy with emotions as Rasheeda and Kirk Frost walked into the courthouse from opposite directions. Neither of them imagined their story would end here, in front of a judge, surrounded by lawyers and cameras waiting outside. Rasheeda was calm, her heart steady. She had made her decision, and there was no turning back. For years, she had fought, for her marriage, for her family, and for Kirk to see her worth. But now, she was fighting for herself. Kirk, on the other hand, was restless. Deep inside, he still hoped for a last-minute miracle, a chance to change her mind, to hold on to the life they built. But every sign around him pointed to the end. Inside the courtroom, their lawyers handled the formalities. Property agreements were read, custody plans were discussed, and financial settlements were finalized. But the most powerful moment came when the judge asked if both parties were ready to proceed with the divorce. Rasheeda stood tall and answered firmly, "Yes, Your Honor." Kirk hesitated. His voice shook. "You too, Kirk. But loving you doesn't mean I have to stay with you. I choose peace now." Those words stayed with Kirk long after she walked away. The world outside reacted instantly. Fans flooded social media with messages of support for Rasheeda, praising her courage to finally leave. Blogs and news outlets covered every detail of the final hearing, calling it the end of an era. Mona Scott Young, always thinking of the next story, arranged a special sit-down interview with Rasheeda for the season finale of the show. In the interview, Rasheeda shared her truth. "I stayed for years because I believed things would change. But sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is walk away. This is not the end for me. This is a new beginning. You can't win everything back, Kirk. But you can still be a good father. You can still grow." Over time, Kirk began focusing on his children more. He showed up to school events, spent weekends with them, and tried to be the father he should have always been. As for Rasheeda, she thrived. Her businesses flourished, she expanded into new ventures, and most importantly, she found happiness within herself. Her fans admired her strength and growth, seeing her as a symbol of empowerment. The cameras continued to follow their separate journeys, but the chapter they shared as husband and wife was officially closed. In the final scene of the season, Rasheeda stood on the balcony of her new home, overlooking the city lights. Her voice echoed over the peaceful music. Sometimes the hardest endings lead to the most beautiful beginnings. And with that, Rasheeda walked into her new life, free, fearless, and finally at peace.
Y'all, grab your popcorn. Costings just got messy in the ATL. What started as a casual night out turned into a full-blown confrontation that left the entire Love and Hip Hop cast and the internet shaken. Jasmine is back. And baby, she's not holding anything back this time. In a jaw-dropping showdown that no one saw coming, Jasmine came face to face with Rasheeda, and let's just say, what she had to say was nothing short of scandalous. We're talking accusations, screaming, tears, and yes, even a little furniture almost got moved. Rumors had already been bubbling up for weeks that Rasheeda was trying to reconnect with Kirk in more ways than just co-parenting. And now, Jasmine is calling her out, saying Rasheeda has no business playing house with the very man who betrayed them both. But that's just the beginning. Jasmine claims she has receipts, and what she revealed during their explosive argument has left fans questioning everything they thought they knew. Was Rasheeda really plotting behind Jasmine's back? Did Kirk know what was going on all along? And why did a night that was supposed to celebrate unity turn into an all-out war zone? Witnesses say the moment Jasmine walked into the venue, the energy shifted. Her eyes were locked on Rasheeda, and the tension could be sliced with a knife. And then, the confrontation of the year unfolded in front of everyone: castmates, crew, even fans who managed to sneak footage on their phones. Whispers are flying that things got so bad, security had to step in. But not before Jasmine dropped a bombshell that made Rasheeda's jaw drop and left Kirk completely speechless. What was supposed to be a peaceful event turned into a battleground of betrayal, broken trust, and bold accusations. Trust us, this isn't just a spat between EXCs. This is reality TV royalty level drama. And you won't believe how deep it goes. Stay tuned, because what happened next will leave you speechless. This is the messiest confrontation Love and Hip Hop has seen in years. And baby, it's only just getting started. The night started off with glitz, glam, and nothing. She dared, her voice trembling with rage. A moment of weakness? That moment gave you a son. That moment exposed every lie you were living. Kirk's voice finally, while texting you like y'all still together. You knew what this was, and you let us both drown in your lies. And just like that, a new wave of chaos erupted. Rasheeda rounded on Kirk. Is that true? You've been entertaining her behind my back? Kirk stammered. Hands up. I didn't entertain nobody. We was just talking. Jasmine cut him off. Talking? At 2 a.m. Sending kiss emojis. Kirk, stop. Own it for once in your life. Boy, don't even open your mouth. You lucky I don't throw this heel at your head. The crowd laughed nervously. Jasmine, for once, looked speechless. Charlene turned to her next. And you should have been smarter. If a man cheats with you, he'll cheat on you. You didn't win nothing. You walked into a burning house thinking you'd be safe. Jasmine blinked, clearly not expecting to be read by Rasheeda, arms crossed, her phone buzzing non-stop with social media notifications, text messages from castmates, and gossip bloggers already tagging her in clips of the confrontation. Every angle of that ugly moment was now public consumption. You couldn't keep your mouth shut, could you? She snapped at Kirk without turning around. All that damn texting. You really thought it wouldn't come out? I said what needed to be said. If they hate me for it, so be it. At least I ain't hiding behind fake forgiveness. Elsewhere, the fallout was just beginning. Fans were on fire. Team Rasheeda and Team Jasmine hashtags were trending. Old footage resurfaced of Kirk's past infidelities. Even celebrities started chiming in, with Tamar Braxton tweeting, "Phew, not y'all fighting over a man who cheated in 4,000 every season. Praying for peace, not pieces." The Love and Hip Hop producers, meanwhile, were thrilled and scrambling. The footage was gold. The drama was real, but they also knew this was and didn't clap back. She let them talk. Thing no one expected. Another cast member, Carly Red, decided to stir the pot even more. She posted a cryptic story. "It's always the one screaming the loudest that got the most to hide. Don't worry, the real receipt's coming soon." That one post reopened every wound. Now fans were wondering, was Jasmine hiding something? Or was Rasheeda? And what did Carly know? Suddenly, this wasn't just a love triangle anymore. It was a full-blown reality TV conspiracy, with secrets that were far from over. Within 24 hours of Carly Red's cryptic post, the internet was on fire. Every blog, gossip site, and social media page dedicated to reality TV had the same headline plastered everywhere. Carly claims to have receipts that could end Jasmine or Rasheeda, but which one? Speculation hit a fever pitch. Fans were dissecting every possible angle, clip, and past episode to figure out what Carly could be sitting on. Some believe she had evidence that Jasmine was still messing with Kirk secretly. Others, truth, "I'll do it on Instagram Live," she warned, waving the folder. With no. And guess who paid for it? She pointed straight at Rasheeda. Rasheeda's face didn't move, but her eyes flickered just for a second. "You had me followed?" Jasmine asked, stunned. "Why the hell would you do that?" Rasheeda looked around, her voice barely above a whisper. I needed to know if you and Kirk were still seeing each other. Back then, he swore he was done with you, but something didn't feel right. I needed proof." Jasmine was speechless. Carly wasn't done. Furious. "You just did this for clout, Carly. You waited until the moment would get you the most attention. You don't care about the truth." Carly clapped her hands slowly. "And yet, you're the one caught up. Again." After that explosive taping, Rasheeda vanished from social media entirely. Her account went dark. She wasn't seen at events. She didn't answer calls, not even from close friends. Some speculated she had flown to L.A. to stay with her cousin and decompress. Others claimed she was staying in a hotel under an alias. But the Rasheeda everyone knew, the strong, poised, graceful queen of the South, was gone, replaced by silence. Kirk, for his part, tried to and promising discretion. The internet exploded. Kirk became the new target. All over again. Fans were in disbelief. After all that, this man is addicted to chaos. Rasheeda, please leave him this time. The pressure became so intense. Crying emojis and messages of light. Healing doesn't start with revenge. It starts with truth. Thank you. The internet responded with overwhelming support. Fans began calling for the women to reunite, not as friends, but as survivors. Survivors of Kirk Frost. But not everyone was thrilled about the new sisterhood. Carly Red went live, fuming. "So let me get this straight," she ranted, pacing in her living room with a glass of wine. "Y'all dragged each other in front of the whole world. Almost came to blows. Exposed each other's business, and now it's all cumbia. Nah, y'all fake. Y'all only playing nice cause the fans flipped on you." Her comments were filled with mixed reactions, some agreeing, others dragging her for being bitter. But Carly had one more bomb to drop. "Y'all keep thinking Kirk's the problem. But what if I told y'all that both Rasheeda and Jasmine knew about each other's dealings with him the entire time and just played it up for sympathy? This time, no one took the bait. Fans were exhausted. The drama had taken so many turns. Most people just wanted peace. But producers? They saw opportunity. A two-part reunion was immediately greenlit. Hosted by Mona Scott Young herself, the reunion was set to be the most watched episode in Love and Hip Hop history. And it did not disappoint. Jasmine walked onto the reunion stage first, calm, poised, and glowing with confidence. Rasheeda came next, the crowd cheering louder than expected. The two women hugged. And in the end, I lost everything. Rasheeda looked down. Jasmine didn't flinch. Kirk turned to Rasheeda. You've been the strongest woman I've ever known, and I hope you find the peace I couldn't give you. Then he turned to Jasmine. And I hope one day, my son doesn't look at me and see only the man who hurt his mother. With that, he walked off the stage. No applause, no redemption, just silence. The final moments of the reunion were powerful. Rasheeda turned to Jasmine and said, you deserved better. From him, from me, from everybody. Jasmine replied, so did you? We both did. The audience stood and applauded. Even Mona wiped away a tear. And just like that, the war was over, not because someone won, but because both women refused to lose anymore. They chose healing. They chose honesty. They chose each other not as friends, not as enemies, but as women who survived the same storm and came out stronger. But the question still lingers. Was this the end of the Kirk Frost saga or just a calm before the next storm? Phew! If you're still catching your breath after that roller coaster of emotions, trust you're not.
From the outside, Rasheeda and Kirk Frost seemed like the ride-or-die couple of Atlanta. A power duo that weathered every storm, every rumor, every side-eye thrown their way. But behind those filtered Instagram smiles and Love and Hip-Hop highlights lies a story far darker than fans ever imagined. Because now, new explosive claims are surfacing and they're ripping the Frost household apart, one betrayal at a time. Sources close to the couple have come forward with damning allegations, and trust us, you've never heard anything like this.
All right, y'all. That's gonna be it right there, man. We're gonna get an hour and 47 minutes. So, yeah, man. Like as you can see, she should have been left Kirk. So much crazy shit. He lied about the DNA test, about their kid. He adopted her when she was 17. A whole lot of crazy stuff, man. Appreciate everybody tapping in, coming into the live, commenting in the chat, man. We're gonna be back later on, man. We gone.